Very tight at the top of the table over in League Two. That's right, with Crewe, Alexandra, Fleetwood Town and Chesterfield lead the way with, of course, a perfect record with 2 wins out of 2. But who can get outright leadership this coming weekend? We're going to take a little look next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. Today we're doing a look at match day number 3 already. That's right, over in the EFL. It is League 2, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you know where you've been, smash your subscribe. You want some show for Blackburn Rovers, League 2, woo, football. We're going to all hear under one Rooski. That's right, 3 teams at the top. But, of course, at the end of this weekend, we can only have one, of course. Who is it? Well, I'll tell you in just 1 second. Big shout out to the members and the patrons. You know who you are, but we're going to jump in the deep end and predict the next round of matches in this. That's right, it is League 2, and it is here, right now. Of course, right around the corner, we have a double match week, but don't say it too loudly, because I can't stand it. It's madness. It's craziness football going on all over the place. But anyway, let's recap the results of the last round of games. And these were those. Because we're going to have a look at them right now. Slowly but surely, Notts County against Salford City ended up being a 2-1 away win for Salford City. Big win for them as they get their first points on the board. Meanwhile, Shrewsbury Town got stuffed by Tranmere. Could they be the real deal? Back-to-back games now unbeaten for Tranmere Rovers. Meanwhile, MK Dons got their first win over Barrow. 2-0 win. Now with a 2-1 win, so they're up and running with their win. Bromley did beat Barnet 2-0. Of course, not the best start for Barnet in League 2. Cheltenham did lose to Chesterfield 2-0. Of course, along with a 1-0 win. Newport County look pretty decent at the moment as well. They got themselves 4 points over possible 6. 2-1 away win against Crawley. I went the other way. Crewe did beat Accrington Stanley 2-0. Got that one spot on the nose. Gillingham did beat Walsall 1-0. Got that one spot on the nose. Fleetwood Town did beat Bristol Rovers. Got that one spot on the nose. And Harrogate and Grimsby did draw. I went with the 1-1, but it was a 3-3 thriller. And a great point in the bag there for both Harrogate and Grimsby. Meanwhile, Oldham Town did draw with Colchester 1-1. Got that one spot on the nose. And Swindon Town, they beat Cambridge 3-2. I went with the 2-1 win. And I must say, I think I did all right with the old picks there. Not too shabby. Not too shabby indeed. But the table looks like this right here, right now. We see Crewe, Alexandra tip at the top of the table. We have Fleetwood up there alongside them. And Chesterfield as of right now. But going down, it's Barnet, it's Crawley, Barrow, Cheltenham and Bristol Rovers all have 0 points right now, but that could all change this weekend as we get closer to action. But also closer to action, we have our prediction league, and I'm not giving you an update yet. Just keep doing your thing. The form should be out there. Get in there, get predicting. It's a bit more of a reveal here. I think we're doing it. It's much more easier for me to do like every month a reveal. So just keep on predicting. It'll be a big surprise to see who's coming in here on top with, of course, their predictions and see who's kicking ass and taking names. Anyway, we're going to run into the next round of games, which are these, and they're coming at you this coming weekend. That's right. Now, these games, I am predicting them on Tuesday morning. That's before any EFL Cup games get in action, so bear that in mind. So form could change between now and this game. So sit tight, hold on. We're going to jump into it right here, right now, with the top of the shop. Alrighty then, folks, off to Chesterfield we go now as Paul Cook takes on Daryl Clark in the dugout. As the Bristol Rovers are the visitors for this coming match. They played just 7 times in 2012, 3 wins apiece. There's been 1 draw between the two sides. Chesterfield, of course, perfect start so far. 2 wins out of 2. Bristol Rovers, not the best start. Well, Bristol Rovers, who of course are one of the favourites to go up at the start of the campaign. They last played over at this very division, at this venue. It was a 3-2 win for Chesterfield way back in November 2016. Chesterfield with the victory there. In fact, the home side is pretty much unbeaten in that, at least the last 5 matches. You have to roll back many, many years. In fact, it hasn't been on record a situation where the away sides come away with a victory here. So home side is overwhelmingly favoured, and so far Chesterfield have kicked off with a perfect start with back-to-back clean sheets. On the flip side, Bristol Rovers have failed to really get going. Just the 1 goal scored in those 2 games. The bookies also see it this way. 11-8 on. This is Chesterfield. 29-10 is the draw. 7-2 is, of course, your away win here. Going to go with a win for Chesterfield to make it 3 on the bounce. Next up, we go to Oldham, shall we, as they take on Swindon Town, coming over at Boundary Park. Mickey Mellon's boys have okay start for them right now. 2 points of a possible 2. I have a possible 6, sorry, up against Swindon at Ian Holloway, who sit 11th with 3 points of a possible 6. They played 36 times since 1993, 13 wins apiece, and 10 draws between the two sides. Of course, both of these clubs, I believe, if my memory is there, were initial members of the Premier League. Correct me if I'm wrong. So they're here duking it out into League 2, and again coming into this The most recent match at this very venue back in October 2021 in League Two was a 3-1 away win for Swindon Town. Swindon Town actually unbeaten against Oldham over the last 6, picking up 3 wins on the spin. And of course, the 3 draws prior to that as well. Coming into this, Swindon kicked off their campaign away to Walsall. They lost that game, but they bounced back with a 3-2 win over Cambridge. As for Oldham, they've already been busy. They actually played 3 games this season thus far, drawing with the MK Dons on the road, drawing with Colchester at home. And of course, they did lose to Accrington Stanley in the Cup. Bookies for this one: 50-8 is your Oldham, 31-20 is your Swindon, 11-5 is the draw. I think that's what I'm doing. I'm making 3 draws on the spin for Oldham as they try to adapt back into EFL football. So we're going to go to Barrow then, shall we, as they take on Notts County. Come at you over at Barrow. Andrew Wing's boys have not had the best start, have they? Back-to-back defeats for them up against Notts County under Martin Patterson, who started off okay with just a 1 point down from possible 6. Now played 6 times these 2 clubs since 2019. We have 2 wins Barrow, 1 for Notts County, and there's been 3 draws between the 2 sides. Last time they played at this very venue, it was a 1-1 scoreline. In fact, the last 2 at this very venue have ended up all square with draws. If you roll back the years even more, 3 of the last 4 matches over both venues have ended up all square as well. Coming into this, Notts County last time on the road, they picked up a draw. Last time at home, Barrow picked up a 2-0 loss to MK Dons. That was the last match. And they've yet to get going score-wise this coming season. The bookies odds for this one: 90-10 is your Barrow, 31-20 is your Notts County, 11-5 is the draw. Not the best start for Barrow, and I've got concerns already. 1-0 win for Notts County on the road. Let's go to Bromley now as they take on they take on Fleetwood Town, of course, who had a great start to the campaign with Pete Wild at the helm. Bromley, of course, with Andy Woodman looking to improve upon their 4 points so far. Good start for them. And they played Fleetwood Town just the 3 times since 2012. They've won 1, they've lost 1, and they've drawn 1. The most recent match at this venue was a 1-0 win for Bromley way back in February 2025. Bromley opening up back-to-back clean sheets for them, including a 2-0 win last time around at this venue over Barnet. Fleetwood Town, of course, kicked off their season also with a 2-0 win away to Barnet. That was back on the first game of the season. And of course, they followed up with a 2-1 win over Bristol Rovers. The odds for this one: 5-4 your Bromley, 11-5 is your Fleetwood, 23-10 is the draw. Could be a draw, but I think I'm going to go with my form. One of the form team right now. That's Fleetwood Town, 2-1 away win. And Pete Wild could have got himself into a great start in League Two. Let's go to Cambridge then, shall we, as they take on Harrogate Town. Coming over Cambridge, New Harris, 50-50 start for them, 1-1 lost 1 up against Harrogate under Simon Weaver. Also, a great start for them, 4 points of a possible 6, and they played Cambridge twice since 2021. They've won 1 and they've lost 1, of course. The last time they played at this very venue was a 2-1 win for Cambridge back in January 2021. But over the course of the 2 matches, these 2 sides have chalked up 12 goals between them in the last 2. The most recent match, though, for Harrogate, they picked up a 3-3 draw at home to Grimsby. Prior to that, they kicked off the campaign with a 1-0 away win to Bristol Rovers. As for Cambridge, opening up with a 1-0 win over Cheltenham, losing, though, a bit of a thriller to Swindon Town most recently. The odds here: 6-5 on is your Cambridge, 16-5 is your Harrogate Town, 13-5 is the draw. Going to go with a 2-0 win for Cambridge as well. I think they're a decent side, and I think home form is going to be vital, though, for them moving forward. Crewe, though, they are tip of the top of the table, taking on the Crawley Town, who are struggling right now. It is first versus pretty much bottom. They played 21 times since 2011. 12 wins Crewe, 4 wins Crawley, 5 draws between the 2 sides. Lee Bell in the dugout for Crewe. Scott Lindsay's Crawley are in trouble. That's right. Now, the last time they played over at Grusty Road competitively in domestic league action, it was back in February 2024 in League Two. Crewe coming out top with a 1-0 win as well. Of course, they did play in that League Two playoff final back in 2024, that same year. Crawley coming out top with a 2-0 win. They were stellar that day. But for the last 6 between these 2 sides, have ended up with a Crewe victory. So they like playing them, really, on paper, and I do anticipate something similar these days. Crewe opening up with a 3-1 away win to Salford, picking up a 2-0 win over Accrington Stanley most recently. As for Crawley, back-to-back defeats for them, losing to Grimsby, and then most recently at home to Newport County. The odds for this, 20-19 on, is your Crewe. We have 12-5 is the draw, 14-5 your away win. We're going to go 3-1 win. Crewe looking good as well. Let's go to Barnet now as they take on Walsall. Come out over at Barnet with Dean Brennan in the charge there. Up against Walsall, Matt Sadler had played twice, 2 since 2006. Nothing but Barnet, 1 for Walsall, and there's been 1 draw between the 2 sides. That last time they played at this very venue in Barnet, it was that 1 draw. It was a 1-1 scoreline way back in September 2006. Barnet opening it up with a back-to-back defeats, back-to-back games without a goal as well. So pretty concerning for their life in League Two. Meanwhile, Walsall 1-1 lost one so far, beating Swindon at home, but they did lose to Gillingham on the road in what could have been a title decider early doors, because I expect Gillingham, I expect Walsall to be up there or thereabouts at the end of the campaign. The odds for this one: Barnet 11-10, 12-5 is your Walsall, 9-4 is the draw. I'm going to go with Walsall here to at least get a point. It might be more than that. A 1-1 score and Barnet up and running. At least that's a point and a goal for them to get them some confidence as well. Meanwhile, Grimsby taking on Newport County over at Grimsby. David Artell's boys are unbeaten so far, picking up 4 points over a possible 6. Taking on Newport County, also unbeaten this season, picking up 4 points over a possible 6 as well. Now, they played 25 times since 2010. 8 wins Grimsby, 9 win Newport County, and there's been 8 draws. The last time they played at Grimsby, it was a 1-0 win for Grimsby. That was back in March 2025. It's actually been back-to-back home wins for Grimsby over Newport County. And they're actually unbeaten against them in the last 3. In fact, if you look at both venues, both at Grimsby and in Wales, Grimsby are at least unbeaten in the last 6. It could be much more than that. They're coming into this, though, on the back of a 3-0 home win against Crawley, then followed up with a 3-3 away draw to Harrogate. As for Newport County, they drew with a fellow Nut County side, Notts County, 1-1 scoreline in Wales, and they picked up a massive 2-1 away win against Crawley just the other day. Meanwhile, 20-9 on is your Grimsby, 6-1 is your Newport County, 7-2 is the draw. Going to go with going to go Grimsby 2-0 winners to take it to the house. MK Dons taking on Cheltenham. That's right. Paul Warren's boys are unbeaten so far. Slow start, but they've started to move up the table a little bit. Into 6 right now with 4 points of a possible 6 up against Cheltenham under Michael Flynn. They've started off with pretty dismal stuff here with 0 points of a possible 6 as well. Played 13 times these two clubs since 2008. 8 wins MK Dons, 2 wins Cheltenham. There's been 3 draws between the two sides. Last time around over at Stadium MK was a 3-2 win way back in November 2024. The reverse fixture, of course, last season, 1-0 win it was for MK Dons, who have done the double in the last campaign. They're unbeaten against them in the last 4 as well, including a couple of draws in League One. MK Dons opening up with a 0-0 scoreline at home to Oldham. Then they picked up a 2-0 away win to Barrow. So back-to-back clean sheets for MK Dons. As for Cheltenham, back-to-back defeats, back-to-back games without a goal. So there's only one way this is going, you would imagine. Good odds here, 30-8 on is your MK Dons, 17-4 your Cheltenham, 29-10 is the draw. We are going 1-0 win. Just the basics, just a simple 1-0 win. And MK Dons will move along. Salford City taking on Accrington. Stanley coming at you over at Salford. That's right, with Carl Robinson at the helm. Salford sit 14th right now with 3 points of a possible 6. Stanley into 18th right now with just the 1 point. John Doolan at the helm. Played 6 times these two clubs since 2023, wins apiece. No draws between the two sides. Last time around, of course, at Salford, it was a 2-1 win for Stanley back in April 2025. Goodness gracious me. Stanley have actually won 3 of the last 4 between these two sides. Coming at you. Stanley, though, opening up with a 1-1 scoreline with Gillingham, and that was at home. Their last match on the road was just the other day, a 2-0 loss to Crewe. As for Salford, opening up with a 3-1 home loss to Crewe, and then pick up a 2-1 away win at Notts County. The odds 10-7 on is your Salford, 7-2 is your Stanley, 31-10 is the draw. We're going to go with a 2-1 win Salford, taking it to the mixer and moving the change. Shrewsbury Town up against Colchester. That's right, coming out of Shrewsbury. Michael Upton up against Danny Cowley in the dugouts. Played 9 times these two clubs since 2005. 3 wins for the Shrews, 2 wins for Colchester, and 4 draws between the two sides. Last time around, over at this very venue, was a 3-2 win for Shrewsbury back in November 2023. That was in the FA Cup. But last time they played in the league, it was back in October 2015. Shrewsbury winning 4-2 in a convincing start. In fact, Shrewsbury were unbeaten against Colchester at this very venue over the last 3, if not more than that. And only lost once against them in the last 6. Coming at you, though, Shrewsbury yet to get a goal this campaign, drawing at home to Bromley most recently. Actually, in their last home match, and then picked up a 4-0 loss away to Tranmere. Meanwhile, Colchester back-to-back draws, drawing 1-1 at home to Tranmere, and then, of course, picking up a 1-1 scoreline away to Oldham. The odds for this one, we're looking at 7-4 your Shrewsbury, 17-10 is your Colchester, 21-10 is the draw. On paper, you would think Shrewsbury are going to win this one. But I don't think so. I'm going to go with a 1-0 win for the Cowleys. That's right. Colchester moving the chains. And then finally, we have a ding-dong classic over at Prenton Park. It's Tranmere up against Gillingham. That's right, with Andrew Cosby still at the helm for Tranmere up against Gareth Ainsworth. They played 19 times since the year 2007, wins apiece. And 5 draws. That's right, coming at you last time around at this very venue. It was a 1-1 scoreline way back in January 2025. Gillingham, though, coming into this on the back of that 1-0 win over Walsall. They've got 4 points of a possible 6, as Tranmere do as well, picking up a 1-1 score against Colchester and then follow that up with a 4-0 win over Shrewsbury. The odds here, 23-20 is your Tranmere, 13-5 is your Gillingham, 21-10 is the draw. We're going to go with Gareth Ainsworth. Of course we are. Simple stuff, just the 1-0 win. And, of course, move the chains. And if I'm right, guys, which I bloody well think I am going to be right, this is what the table will look like. It'll be Crewe, it'll be Chesterfield, it'll be Fleetwood, as you were. Perfect start continues. Grimsby, MK Dons, and Gillingham continue their unbeaten start as well. Going down, Barrow and Crawley at the moment, but of course it can all change very, very soon. And of course, don't forget the prediction league is going on. And of course, next week is a double match week, so keep on going. It's like 3 games in the space of 8 days, so good part of the season here, and then hopefully we can get you an update as we edge into the month of September. But that is it. Make sure you subscribe, smash the like wherever you are in the world. Of course, we'll be back for more League 2 action when we return. But until then, I'm out.